What is it about the chosen ones and memory? As like chosen ones got memory of an elephant. Now, let me give you a story of when I was about 5 years. Now my mother is the firstborn of my grandfather, so naturally she'll be tight with her father. You know, now when I came along, I was also very tight with him. On the day that I was born, he gifted me a cow. And a while ago, my grandmother calls me and she told me, Lula, when my husband gave you that cow, really, he gave it to you without any hesitations. Now, there are many, 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 she says, and your mother has them. And I said, okay, thank you. You know what I mean? So usually I would hang around with my grandfather in the mornings and also in the afternoon. Now, my grandfather had a habit of coming home in the afternoon, and my grandmother would prepare tea for him for the day, so he would come and drink that tea. On this particular day, I went there and I drank all the tea. So when he came home, there's no tea. And my grandmother was not at home to make him tea, and he didn't know how to make one. So he got so angry, and he basically just told me to just get out of here like that. And I said, yeah, okay. And I went home, and I told my mother what has happened. And I told her, I'm not going back there again unless he apologizes to me. And my mother said to me, my father is a very tough man. He doesn't mean that. It's just the way he is. I'm like, nah, I need to hear it from him. Otherwise, I'm not going back to that house again. You know what I mean? And 3 days later, he came running and I went back. Now the moral of the story is chosen. You know what I mean? When there's no love served at your table, you must move on. Yeah. Yes. Uh, Hello, beautiful people of the world. This is Alula, and welcome to Awaken the Ego Within. Chosen, if you haven't subscribed by now, you're missing out. Check me out on Insta. I'll fix this. At Awaken the Ego, the link is on the channel. You know what? I got up this morning and I said, you know what? I don't look good in Adidas anymore. You know what I mean? In fact, let me just get out of here and burn all of the jersey that I've got of Adidas. This is in retaliation for Yeezy. Yeah. And how fitting is it for this video, guys? You know what I mean? When there's no love served at the table, guys, we gotta move over as people. You know what I'm saying? This is a retaliation to canceling Yeezy. Because if you did not cancel him when he said slavery was a choice 400 years, which offended a lot of black people, by the way, why cancel him now when he just gave these facts? Seriously speaking, guys. You know what I mean? As black people, let me just say this. We're very powerful. We have tremendous spending power. If we just come together. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for the trauma that we're still facing, which we're dealing with, and a lot of us are awakening to ourselves, by the way. is that we got tremendous spending power, like over $1 trillion in America. If all black people get together and say, you know what, we're gonna drop Adidas just for dropping Yeezy. Let me tell you something. The little Adidas will turn to zero in 1 second. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's get down to the video of today, chosen ones. Why is it that it's important for you to really move away from the table if you feel like, when you feel like, you know what I mean? There's no longer, the love that you feel that you deserve is no longer being served. Chosen, the best thing you can do is to move away from that table. You know what I mean? That actually says a lot about you. You know what I mean? Now, one of the biggest symptoms of self-love, you know what I mean, apart from discipline, I keep stressing on that point, you know what I mean, is the things that you tolerate. You know what I mean? The more you have knowledge of self, the more you love yourself, the things you tolerate, you know what I mean, become smaller and smaller and smaller. And let me tell you something, that is the right thing to do, guys. Seriously speaking. You know what I mean? Back in the days, one of this quote from this, like Willie Lynch, he says, like, if you consistently degrade a man, you know what I mean, you no longer have to persuade him to come to the back door. He will do it himself. That's what I mean, guys. If you don't move away from this table over time, you're gonna lose respect for yourself more and more and more and more. And this is so degrading spiritually for you. You know what I mean? That's why, guys, in this new awakening, chosen ones, we should only associate with people that we feel like deserve our attention, our love, and our time, really. You know, this idea of consistently trying to change people, persuade people, show people, these things are done, guys. When you feel like you're not being served the things that you deserve, which is give and take, 50-50 partnership, then you got to have the courage to move away when you feel like there's no love being served for you anymore over there. You know what I'm saying, guys? So what is the first reason for you, you know what I'm saying, to basically move away and sit at your own table? Chosen, if you don't, after a while, something will begin to die within you. You're gonna lose like respect for yourself eventually. It's like you're being stripped of who you are, really. It's like you don't know yourself. And this is subconscious. Let me tell you something. And life is lived subconsciously. If you don't stand up to situations, if you don't chosen, if you don't get up and speak about a situation, the more you live it, the more you're gonna lose control, and the more degrading you're gonna be, guys. And let me tell you something, this is not God's plan for your life as chosen. You know what I mean? Guys, in the past, through the teachings of religion, it's like we've been manipulated or we've been taught to really love people that hate us. Think about how stupid that is. To consistently forgive people that are trying to bring you down, people who showing you that they're not like from your tribe. Now, these people say, you gotta love them. That kind of thing, chosen one, will weaken you. You know what I mean? Now, it's time to put ourselves first. it's time to put our spiritual health first, mental health, psychological health, all health. Because, chosen one, everything starts with you. Because if you don't move to your own table, like a fitting table, by the way, which you create yourself, which you allow people who are only on the same frequency with you. If you don't do these things, guys, let me tell you something. Sometimes that kind of life is not worth living, especially as chosen one. You're high vibration being. You know what I mean? Oh, this rain is coming again. Yeah, water. You know what I mean? Guys, you got to be smart enough to move away from the table when you feel like there's no love being served over there. You know what I mean? Some of you are trying to really show people who have shown you that I know your friend, like that you are something. Guys, don't waste your time on this kind of things. You know, funny enough, there was a time where, like when I was much more younger, there was like certain people that I thought I would impress. Let me tell you something. Now I look back at it, I was like, man, I was such a fool. But that, I wasn't my own just yet at that time. Guys, life is lived in stages, guys. The more your spiritual eye opens, the more you shall see clearly and clearly and clearly and clearly, guys. There's been a time where certain people have showed me, guys, their true character over and over again. If I would count it, I would even say it's being triple digits. Then, when I became my own, I adopted this philosophy of Oprah Winfrey, by the way, a great lady. You know, that when people who show you who they are first time, believe them. But now, the funny thing about this thing is like, guys, when you're doing these things, let me tell you something. You better be ready to lose a lot of people. You know, I called it cleaning my house at that stage of my life. This was back in 2016. This is where I can honestly say I began to clean my house one by one and one by one. You know what I mean? The things that I tolerated was less and less and less and less and less and less. But the thing about that time was like, guys, a lot of people were dropping out of my life, really. It wasn't easy. It was one of the hardest things. But now, I look back at it now and I said, you know what? That was the best thing that could ever happen to me. And thank God it did happen. If those people were in my life right now, I don't believe I'll be vibrating as high as I am right now, guys. Seriously speaking. Your association is everything, guys. Let me tell you something. The people you associate yourself with is everything. This is why we say most chosen ones prefer to be alone to create their lives until people who are in the same path mingle together. Even that, guys, is like our main goal is purpose. But that's to say, guys, energy is infectious. Chosen, let me close this video by saying this powerful quote, which is energy is contagious. Associate yourself only with the happy. Yeah. All right.